So I know that the life lessons that you had, you're applying in a much broader sense than in business right now.
Sure.
And I'm not sure how many times you've actually had this question in the more recent past, but how would you apply the lessons that have formed you if you were to go back to business, or for people who are in business? What can you share?
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think the first thing is to operate from your heart, man. You can't do anything if it's not from your heart. And that includes business. And business is actually extremely spiritual. You know, on this journey, I came obviously on across so many spiritual people, and I stayed in communities and hanged with hippies and whatever you want to call it, and a lot of spiritual people. And some people that I found it's like, oh yeah, business is like, you almost get sometimes I get the money thing is bad or business thing is bad, and and often it's also just because some of the spiritual people are also not fully integrated. They still got a lot of work to do. And I often say to them, and I often had even a bigger realization, on this journey of mine, that business is extremely spiritual and companies is extremely spiritual. You create this entity. Now you can create this entity with different energies, and if you create this energy with love, when you create it from the heart space, it's going to be a total different entity as when you create it with, let's say, exploitation in mind. So the stuff that business will bring to the world will be vastly different depending on what energy it's built from. And the energy that it comes from is what it will be. If you build it from the heart and from love, it's going to be a heart-love business. It can't be anything else. And if you build it with, you want to exploit people, that's what the energy will be. You can't change it afterwards. It is that. And that's what it will bring into the world also. And what is, I think, so fascinating is that even though the second business that I mentioned, if you bring it from the exploitation, it won't nearly be as successful as the business from heart and from love. So there's so many reasons to do that. Is that it will just be much more successful. If you don't want to do it for just from the heart or love space, you just want to do it for results. That's also okay, But you'll find that it is going to be a much more successful business.
Yeah.
And the people on it.
And the journey is going to be much more enjoyable.
And the journey, exactly. The people in the business are going to love it. So they're going to love it, and so therefore they don't want to leave you, man. So you have less recruitment cost. If you build this like business that comes from another energy, the people want to leave the whole time, and you have to re-employ new people.
It's a lot harder.
It's much harder. It's going to cost you. You're going to look at the bottom line. It's going to kill the business eventually.
It's not going to go further. It's going to be harder along the way. So I think that is just a beautiful place to leave it, because that's such a strong point of a journey that started in business, that you went around the world for 5 years on this epic journey, not related to business, and now you're practicing outside of business and sharing your knowledge outside of business. But you've left us with something beautiful, profound, deeply personal, that those of us who are in business can be inspired by the fact that if you have a heart-centered business, there's so much more that you could achieve with that. Len, I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing this time. It's lovely to see you again, and just so keen to keep following your journey.
Oh, thank you, Sham. It's so beautiful. Thank you for the chat, and thank you for this beautiful setting that we did it in. It's what a beautiful start of the day. Thanks, brother.
Cheers, Len.
Love you, man.
Love you, boy.